We're taking brats to the next level, made from scratch, linking them up, then simmering in beer and onions before they hit the grill and topping them off with an amazing special sauce. So let's get right into it. Here we have 2 Boston butts. Boston butt is perfect for brats because it naturally sits around a 70-30 to 80-20 lean to fat ratio, which is exactly what you want for a juicy, flavorful sausage. These 2 butts are about 18 pounds total, but I'm only using 2 kilos, about 4.4 pounds, for this brat recipe. I'll be turning the rest into breakfast sausage and pulled pork sandwiches on a later date. Now, we're cutting this pork down into small cubes, so it's ready for the grinder attachment on my KitchenAid stand mixer. Once it's cubed, it goes into the freezer for about 45 minutes, just until it's firm, but not frozen solid. I also chill the grinder parts at the same time. That way it keeps the fat cold, so it grinds clean and doesn't smear. Then, we'll run it all through and build our brat mix from scratch. Now, one thing I've learned through trial and error is to cut your meat smaller than you think. It feeds way cleaner through the KitchenAid grinder, and you're not fighting it the whole time. I'm using a coarse plate here and just running it through once. That gives me a nice texture without turning it into paste. Some people grind twice for a finer sausage, but since this is getting mixed and stuffed next, 1 pass works great. So to this 2 kilogram or 4.4 pounds of ground pork butt, I'm adding 38 grams of kosher salt, 10 grams of white pepper, 5 grams of ground ginger, 10 grams of granulated garlic, 6 grams of ground mustard, 2 grams of nutmeg, 3 grams of dried thyme, 6 grams of ground coriander, 6 grams of caraway, 80 grams of non-fat milk powder as a binder, and 200 grams of heavy cream. Now, you could mix this by hand, but I'm going to be using the paddle attachment to this stand mixer. It just saves time, but more importantly, keeps everything evenly combined without overworking it. Here, I'm using standard 32 to 38 millimeter hog casings that are packed in salt. Before I put them on the horn, I soak them in warm water for at least 30 to 60 minutes. The water should be just warm, not hot, to soften them up and help avoid blowouts. I like to run some water through the inside as well. A trick I like to use is to open one end and dunk it into the water until it takes on water, then flush it through. It makes them much easier to slide onto the stuffing horn. Next, I slide the casing all the way onto the stuffing horn, but I don't tie it off yet. I let the meat start feeding through first, so it pushes all the air out, and I can actually see it coming out of the horn. Then I tie it off. That way you avoid any air pockets inside. Now we're ready to stuff. I like to go slow here so the casing fills evenly and doesn't split. Sometimes it will stick and not want to feed properly through the horn. So I just pause, adjust, and keep going. That's pretty normal. Once it gets going, you can really see it take shape as it fills. Okay, so we're doing each link 7 inches. So this one I'm going to rotate, pinch it off, rotate. Okay, then go down about another 7 inches, pinch that off. I'm going to skip this area, and I'm going to come here, pinch that off, and rotate the opposite direction. And each link I'm going to make about 7 inches. Then I just continue along in the same pattern. And then I just tie it off and cut off the excess. And I use this push pin, but you can use any kind of needle. I've even used sharp toothpicks. Get the air out. Then I flip it over and I'll do the other side also. I'm going to set these up on this drying rack, and then I'm just going to put them in the fridge to dry, especially to dry up these the casings in between so I can clip those off afterwards. Now, onions and brats go together like peanut butter and jelly. First, I cut off both ends of the onion so it sits flat on the cutting board. Then, I stand it up and slice right down the middle. I then remove the peel and usually the first outer layer. You just want clean, fresh layers for even cooking. Now, I lay each half flat on the board, and this is where you choose your style. Go thin if you want them to melt down into the brats, or go a little thicker if you want that bite and texture when you take a forkful. I'm going for 1/4 inch slices for this batch. Some extra virgin olive oil down, and I'm adding some sweet onions, Vidalia onions to be exact. They've got a higher sugar content, so they cook down nice and mellow. Take the edge off and bring a natural sweetness without overpowering anything. Next, I'm adding some kosher salt to help sweat down the onions. Next, I need to cut the links apart before I place them in the pot with the beer and the onions. I'm using Miller Lite here, nothing fancy. You want a light beer so it adds flavor without overpowering the brats. Now get your brats into the beer, and we're gonna let these cook gently for a while. I'm going charcoal today, running this on a Weber kettle grill. You want to keep your brats at a light simmer, not a rolling boil. Let these go for about 25 or 30 minutes. As long as your brats hit at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit internal, you're good. And if your liquids sit closer to 180 degrees, that's totally fine. When I simmer for 30 minutes, that's right where I usually land. While the brats are still boiling, I like to take a few minutes and toast my buns first. Then I get the brats on the grill just to get a little color on them. No touching. And now we build. First with our toasted buns, and then we add the brats. Then our cooked onions, and a special sauce that I'll reveal in a moment. Okay, here we go. Give it a try. So, this is really good. I think the brat's really good. It's got a good texture. The sauce is really good. It's called Slawsa. I would definitely do this again. Definitely a good flavor to it. Yeah, so give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.